NFTs and the Collaboration Economy. Moderated by Georgiy Sekretaryuk.
Awesome. Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us here today. We're very excited to be here at AIBC Summit in Dubai. So we're going to start off with a little introduction about the panel here. My name is Georgiy. I'll be the moderator for today. And I'm here with Beacon 256. We're a crypto advisory and consulting firm. And now I'll pass it off to Matias over here. And Matias, we'd love to know more about you, your company, and what you guys do.
Absolutely. My name is Matias. I am head of content of Sensorium. We are a technology company. We are basically focused on reshaping digital experiences. And we're doing so with a wider range of different products. We are mostly known because of the development of our metaverse, which is one of the most anticipated metaverses out there. It's Sensorium Galaxy. But I'm here representing today our latest venture, a project called Wakata. It's an NFT-focused blockchain for the entertainment industry. And we realized that as we move closer and closer to the Web 3.0 paradigm, it is instrumental for companies in this sector to have an infrastructure that is easily integrated within their structures. And of course, well, that's what we try to provide.
Awesome, thank you. It sounds very exciting. Now, Thomas, and just a heads up for everyone, I believe Thomas is not with Diablo as it says on the board there, but Thomas, I'll let you introduce yourself and share more about that.
Yes, I'm Thomas Menard. I was working with Diablo in the past, but I'm not working with them anymore. Basically, I was involving in a decentralized copy trading protocol. Now I'm more working like a consultant for different NFT projects. I want to launch a utility project such as working with a wine project. They propose you basically to buy an NFT with wine that they can hold for you, so you can make the speculation and make sure that your wine is still conserved in a good way. It's like luxury wine with great partnership, also helping other projects such watch brand based on NFT. You can tap on it with NFT Pulse. A few others like Monopole, this is like a big layer that help people to connect with projects between traditional world and crypto world. And currently I'm like just helping that kind of projects, waiting for the good one for me to join, and just excited about what is going on, and thanks to crypto, I have this liberty to do pretty much whatever I want. So it's good.
Yeah. I know. There's so many exciting projects. I love them all. People are so innovative in this space. And Kaze, off to you now. We'd love to hear more about you and your company.
Yeah, sure. I'm the founder and lead innovator at the Datachain Foundation. So the Datachain Foundation has created data management, distributed data management infrastructures that now is used by an ecosystem. We have like 6 projects right now running on top of it. One of them being a luxury marketplace that is specialized in the conversion of tangible assets into digital twins. And then the digital twins are converted into convertibles that can be used within the metaverse or any nanoverse. So the end goal for us is to basically bridge the gap between the consumer industry, the people, B2B, and the B2B use of the blockchain technologies. So we started with smart cities, and right now we are moving towards the adoption of this technology at the larger scale. And we have an amazing community that I grant for supporting us for the last 3 years. And let's see what the future will hold us. Okay.
Awesome, thank you. All very exciting work as well. And David, off to you now. We'd love to hear more about your work.
For sure. So it's a little bit of a duplication. Myself and Georgiy both work at Beacon 256, which is a specialized digital asset advisory / consultancy program that covers a wide array of services and products, and at the end of the day, specializations. It's incredible to be back here again. Another year, another incredible conference. But thank you everybody for being on this panel with me as well, and look forward to answering some questions from someone that I consider a really good friend.
Awesome, thanks. So I'm just going to jump right in, guys, and start the conversation. So our topic today is NFTs and the collaboration economy. So we're going to be talking a lot about NFTs and what they are and how they're contributing to the Web3 ecosystem here. And so the first question that I have is, all of you guys come from a deep background of Web3, and you're all creating incredible experiences for this ecosystem. I would love to know in what ways have you guys, through your clients or for your firms, have used NFTs in unique ways to create unique experiences for your customers, and how that's different from other use cases that we've seen. And I guess I'll pass it off to Matias first.
Right. So basically, our companies basically focus on serving other clients, enterprises, and creators, so creative individuals. So in that sense, basically, what we do is provide them with certain features that will unleash certain use cases. For instance, I believe that we stand out for different reasons, creating different and improving the digital experiences that we can provide. But I think that the real thing that stands out are the new NFT types that we are creating and providing to all our clients. These are, for instance, upgradable NFTs. Upgradable NFTs basically is our first interaction with programmability. Basically, what we intend to do is create a multi-layer artist collaboration, which is regulated through the smart contract. And in that regard, one of the easiest ways to think about it, and I always like to give this example, is when you think about artists, and you've seen, I don't know, Andy Warhol, who has been incredibly famous for this Marilyn Monroe collage. One of the interesting things is that the photograph that he used belonged to a photographer, and that he never got any money out of his job. And the interesting thing is there have been many lawsuits, and that never went anywhere. And basically, upgradable NFTs could be a way to solve these kind of situations where the original artist, in this case the photographer, could issue an NFT with upgradable capabilities, and therefore enabling other artists to use that artwork in the future, but still with the intellectual property remaining with the original creator, and as well setting different things like royalties and so on. So I think that the programmability that we are bringing to the market with Wakata is kind of our contribution to creating these new and enhanced digital experiences.
So just to clarify, what you guys do is you create new, I suppose, you add new metadata to NFTs and create different parameters that then artists and your clients could adjust to their needs.
Yeah, I mean, Wakata itself, it's a layer 1 blockchain developed with the Substrate technology framework, which is the same powerful technology that it's behind Polkadot. So basically, what we do is in our network, we enable this new type of NFTs, which are programmable. So you have, as we said before, upgradable NFTs, but you also have, for instance, time-limited NFTs. So putting certain time limitations in these NFTs could be particularly useful in environments like gaming. So if you, just to exemplify, so like if you have, you purchase a game skin, and you want to give that skin certain powers for a certain limited amount of time, you could do it. And even if those features of the skin expire, the owner of the NFT, I mean, still keeps that, still keeps the skin, yeah.
Very interesting. And Thomas, you also mentioned you have some incredible work there in the wine industry there, so we'd love to hear more about your use case.
Yes, I'm going to bounce on what you just said regarding gamify in a way, because this is something that touched me personally. When I was younger, I was really liking playing games, and if I had the chance of having NFT in my games, I think I'll not be there today because I would have a complete other type of life. Maybe I'll be like professional gamer or something like this, because I was really hard gaming in few games, running server and things. So yeah, I think that might change the way of playing for people. But if I go back to my experience and what I try to do in the space, is more now helping people to, regarding NFT, of course. I'm not talking about DeFi things, but more about NFT. I'm helping people to take an other angle of watching NFT and not focusing on all those collections that are now on the market that try to explain the art that I think is really good to express themselves, and I really agree that there is interesting thing on that. But most of them are based on speculation for the moment, and there is a lot of things that we can do if we close our eyes on the speculation part of this technology and only focusing on utility. For example, I'm here in Dubai, my mother is certainly in France, and she could text me like, oh, I need your car, I need your key, but I cannot give her. But if my key was an NFT, maybe I can just send the key with all the paper inside an NFT. This is the kind of utility I try project to think about, and not thinking about what's the value of the NFT itself, because I think that the value is not only about artistic things, it's also about the real utility that we can bring to make the day-to-day life better with this technology. I really think that this is the point of this technology, and for me, and I know that this is certainly one of the next question, but we are at the stage that today NFT are doing the same thing that the altcoin could have done in the past, in the first bull run. For example, we have all projects trying to surf on this wave. Most of them are cash grabbing, but I think that we are going to have a correction basically in NFT market, and then the real project with real utility are going to emerge, and they are going to run the tomorrow's world.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I hear you. There are definitely some unexplored and very interesting use cases that I look forward to seeing come out to light, and hopefully governments are going to work with companies as well to help make that happen, because there's all of that regulatory stuff behind the scenes is difficult to overcome for companies trying to build.
And sometimes you have projects that they say, okay, we're going to do that, but we don't know how to monetize that.
Yeah.
And when you think about NFT technology, they have something now to monetize.
Yep.
They have something that they could not have without this technology. So this is where the technology is making sense.
Yep.
When you cannot offer you the possibility to go without this technology.
Yep. No, I hear you. And Kaze, off to you. We'd love to hear about how you guys are creating unique NFT experiences for your customers or in your own company.
Yeah, actually, we are very lucky because we have an ecosystem, so we have a plurality of use cases that are rising from the community. So we have been talking about the luxury marketplace, where basically it's possible to convert any digital twins of a real tangible asset into a collectibles that is then playable within the nanoverse. But what I didn't say about it is that the platform Odyssey.io that is currently launching it will also enable the service providers to attach their NFTs to the NFTs of the products that is digitized. So basically, if you have a Ferrari, for example, you purchase the NFTs that goes with it. You will also have the possibility to acquire the service NFTs that provide you the possibility to park the Ferrari in a secure way, the insurance that goes with it, the maintenance that goes with it. And all the service providers, instead of trying to build some partnership between the one with the others that took a lot of time, that generate a lot of paperwork, actually they don't even need to do that. They just need to be a member of the platform, and the platform will autonomously generate the NFTs that gathers all their services. So I believe this is one step ahead of what the economy is currently enabling, because it's also linked to, you can link these services, this approach of the ownership of assets to the rising of digital identity. And we will have digital twin of our car, of our house as well, but we will also become digital twins that will be owned by ourselves, and that's where it becomes very interesting, and especially people that are interested in everything regarding self-sovereignty or this kind of very critical topics.
Yeah, that's very fascinating. And David, off to you. We'd love to hear about how you're creating unique NFT experiences with some of the other projects you're working on, that like Dropout DAO.
For sure. I think the non-fungible token space has definitely evolved since we last, since I first talked about it about a year ago. The reality of it is that the ecosystem has changed way beyond our wildest dreams, in the sense that the industry has recognized the importance of true utility, right? On to Thomas's point, I have this thesis that within the next 6 months to a year, a huge majority of existing NFT projects won't be around, on the premise that very few of them have evolved in the same way that markets have. Very few of them have evolved in the way that investors have evolved into. Some of the really interesting projects that I've worked with and have used NFTs in really interesting ways, one such example is Lucky's NFT. Lucky's NFT serves as not only this homage to Asian culture, but one of the most important things is that it helps serve as a governance feature for the overarching organization called Odd Future. The reality of NFTs is the fact that it gives you almost an infinite applicability towards the different facets in which you want to operate a business. For Odd Future, Lucky served as a governance feature for a very specific aspect of the company. But on the other side, when it comes to how NFTs can serve the people, the Dope Ones project is a really good example. Dope One started off as a hip-hop NFT, but what it eventually evolved off into is a dedication towards artists, specifically in the music realm, that serves to use NFTs to help people become better creators. In the sense that, while in a traditional music industry, where a record label would take 50 to 60 cents on the dollar that an artist would make, they have to go through those hoops and jump through those processes just to become a successful music artist.
Yeah.
What these NFTs give these artists the capacity to do is to have an audience of people that will help cultivate them into the next generation of talent. Yeah. The reality of what the NFT ecosystem has become, it's that it serves to be so much more than just a JPEG that you can right-click and save. It serves to be the way that brands create their own branded identities. It's a way to create communities, as exampled by Dropout DAO, which is looking to use, whether it be NFTs or tokens, to properly represent the first decentralized university to have ever existed. It seeks to replicate the social infrastructure, the educational infrastructure, and to encapsulate the entire point, this is just the beginning of what non-fungible tokens can be.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. And in your guys' collective perspective here, what's the economic opportunity now for NFTs, for brands and consumers? Now, we've heard a lot of use cases, from you guys, from all the work you guys are doing in gaming and programmable NFTs and the luxury wine NFTs, and you're creating a whole nanoverse, and David, you're working on some incredible projects too. What's the economic opportunity that you're seeing now for all the brands that are entering the space, and for the customers that you're working there? How do you think it's going to impact the economy that we're seeing as a whole?
So I believe that, first of all, we have to separate between businesses and creators. I think that it's a little bit different for these two. So for businesses, it's going to be a lot about identifying the new use cases within their structures and understanding whether it's really justified, the use of this technology. Because, we've seen a lot of projects and companies, even large companies like Coca-Cola, Adidas, and so on, getting into the NFT space. But the real question is whether there is true utility in doing so. So in many cases, there is utility, and that's great. But in some cases, it has not been justified. So it's just NFTs per se. So, and I think that the economic opportunity will heavily rely and heavily depend on identifying real utility for these companies. And for creators, I would say it's a lot about getting closer to their audiences. Something that we've seen before with finances and Bitcoin and other financial focused cryptocurrencies, cutting down middlemen in the world of finance, well, the same can happen for content creators. Maybe there is a way, I mean, through on-chain auctions and running their marketplaces directly on their websites, maybe they don't have to even rely on NFT marketplaces or other resources. So it's a lot about getting closer to their audiences, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of hype in the space, and sometimes doesn't always realize. And so, yeah, I see why utility is very important. Thomas,
I'm really glad that you say about like it's a really unpopular way of speaking currently about like all those big brands making NFT, and at the end of the day, you're like, okay, they made NFT, they surf on the wave that I've been talking about, but
well, someone has to say it, right?
Yes.
And if it's not us, who will?
What are we doing with that? I mean, like, I got friends, they never told me about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, even if they know that I'm working in that space. We never had a discussion about that. But when big brand like Nike and like made those NFT, they're like, oh, I'm gonna buy an NFT from Nike. And I'm like, okay, but what are you going to do with that? I mean, how many do you want to buy? Like, oh, maybe 10, maybe 20, maybe. I'm like, but
yeah.
Why? And maybe there is something to do. I'm sure that they will, because it's big. They are not making that for nothing. I'm sure about that, because they are big brand and they cannot offer them to take this risk. But going back to the subject, and I'm going to bounce this time on David thought about music. I'm talking with different artists because I like music. It's like a passion, and most of them try to launch new projects outside the big company. I don't know how to.
Big major.
Yes.
Big major.
Yeah, big people behind them that grab 50-60% of what they are making with the project that they've made from scratch, and having those NFT, it's for me, I can see that in a way that we are going back on time, but in a good way. Like the old generation, they was buying physical CD and things that they can show people that they have. Sometimes with autograph on it, sometimes with a limited color or things. Now we have the NFT at the age of digital streaming and all the things. How can you offer your fan something different than just listening the music that anyone can listen? And this is where we have value with this, also with this technology. So now that I've bounced on that, just maybe I can like take a few minutes to talk about other utilities such as the wine that I was talking before, because when those guys came to me talking about that, I was like, but how can no one think about that before?
Yeah.
I mean, wine is there is a lot of money on wine, a lot of people interest, a lot of people buying, but sometimes they buy a wine, they try to conserve it, but in the wrong way. So the wine does not have any value anymore because of the conservation phase. Yeah. And you can just have a big collection of bottle of wine without having to dedicate a space into your house to own them, without caring about how to stock them and all this thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just looking at the time here. We're getting to the final minute here, but I'd love to hear from the other panelists here too. Kaze.
Yeah. So just to wrap it up, I think that we are the relationship between the customer and the creator is changing. the customer being each of us, and the creator being even people like Nike. So I believe that more and more people, especially people that are coming from the crypto space, are feeling that they are not customers, they're not consuming the product, but actually they are using their money to invest and pledge support the brands that they like. And so the NFTs are a good way to do that. For example, for one of the projects that we are supporting, it's named the Juste Debout. The community has created, the ecosystem has created a platform for them that enable people that are supporting their event. It's one of the biggest street dance events in the world. So community has created a platform that enable people to actually support their event and get rewarded with some of the broadcasting rights. So basically when a channel is purchasing their content, people that are member of their ecosystem, people that are member of the community are able to acquire some of the share of the revenue. So I think this is where the market might be going in a more collaborative way and integrative way.
Yeah, that is very interesting. That's going to be a very exciting space in the coming year or so. And David, we'd love to hear your thoughts as well, just before we wrap up here.
For sure. So when it comes to brands entering into the NFT ecosystem, I actually think it's a really good thing because brands are recognizing the potential of NFTs when it comes to building brand communities. And when you look at whether it be Nike, whether it be the infinitudes of brands that are entering this space, from the outside in perspective, it looks like it's just people profiting off of a trend. But the reality of it is that the ownership element of NFTs makes it so that brands have a potential of building community in a way they've never done before. Odd Future specifically is an organization that seeks to onboard Web2 brands to the Web3 ecosystem. The two co-founders, Nick and Larry, have had traditional business experience in a way of building brand communities that they see the true tangible value of NFTs in doing so. As a result of such, I think when it comes to brand identities, when it comes to brands entering into this space, the true value of non-fungible tokens is ownership. It's a feeling of belonging, it's a sense of belonging that cannot be replicated by a membership that can be canceled, by a club that you can join and exit.
Yeah.
So
we're hearing the same theme from everybody here on board. I mean, I totally resonate with the collection. I used to collect cards as a kid. I used to collect money, coins, and a lot of other things. And I mean, now with NFTs, it just makes it easier in the digital world. I can show off my collections and take it digital. So I'm a huge fan of that. But thank you everyone for your time today. This was an exciting panel, and we're all very excited for the future of NFTs. And hopefully, everybody who's watching, hopefully you can look up the panel members here and take a look at their businesses in deeper detail, and reach out to them and get more involved. And everybody here is doing some incredible work, and hopefully you'll leverage that and get involved. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.